those great times will come back to our industry, and it will be back the time when you want to open a venue or a hotel or operations in a different country, and you want technology that is there with you, that is ready to be with you. At the same time, of course, you want things like language that the system can be completely compliant with any language where we are planning to operate. So in a few words, the way that we like to see it here at Oracle Hospitality, ideally you are looking for something that has a global reach, but at the same time can give you a local touch, local flavor. Okay? So that would be basically the best of all of these, all of those words. Now, because we already covered a lot there, security, operational efficiencies, but what about guest experience? So guest experience was the top priority before this pandemic that we are suffering right now in our industry, but at the same time, guest experience remains the top requirement from the customers out there. Why? Because those guest experiences are the ones that are going to help you differentiate your offering versus your competitors. So what do you expect, what do you need from technology in that sense? Basically technology that is built around guest experience. So basically preferences, putting the guest, the customer, the account, whichever is your main area of work, keeping that at the center of the operations, right? And of course, this is one of our top priorities within our Opera Cloud platform. And of course, it's the same with OSEM, as we're gonna see in a second. But keep guest experience one of your top of your list, basically. Then what about mobility, right? Of course, mobility again was 100% top of the list for many of us, and also for our customers and for our industry before the pandemic, but it's even more important now, because basically having solutions that are mobility enabled from the ground, it means that you can work with your customers anywhere, and that you can really be close to them in the sense of being close to where their demands are happening, where basically all that magic is happening in our venues and hotels out there in the world. So of course, Opera Cloud is built with mobility as one of our key principles, and everything that we try to expose within this platform, again, you're going to see it in a second when we discuss OSEM, is built keeping mobility a top priority. And very close to mobility as the mobility that you give to your employees, allowing them to work from anywhere. What about when you think, for example, using cloud technology or a platform like Opera Cloud, but to basically access your applications from literally anywhere, right? And at any time. I mean, you will see it's something that is not new for all of us, perhaps, that work in the technology world, but how important is that now? Again, having a cloud solution that you can work around the clock, literally from anywhere in the world. So obviously the customers, I saw there a few customers that already ticked the option that they are using OSEM today. Perhaps they are also using sales and catering in the cloud with us today. Well, basically all of those customers were not affected by the fact that maybe you could not go to your workplace every day in the last few weeks, because this technology, you can basically use it from anywhere and at any time on any device. I think that's one of the most important benefits also of these cloud platforms, and something to also keep in mind. Now, when you start also putting all of those boxes together, these boxes start to interrelationate, and they start to correlate one to each other. So, for example, the last box there on the right is again one of my favorites, which is innovation focus. So what this means is that for us as providers, when we have a solution like the Opera Cloud platform, where we have to maintain less systems, we have to maintain less versions, this is allowing us to invest more and to focus more on innovation. And for example, all the innovation that we are adding into the OSEM platform is a great example of that, and also what you're going to see at the end of my presentation with regards to the integrations and innovation platform, right? But now, if we look at this from the customer perspective, from your perspective, a solution like the Opera Cloud platform is basically freeing yourself from all of those tasks which are not providing value to the end customer, and giving you that freedom, that time that you need to focus more on innovation, and also to focus more with partners like MeetingPackage and driving innovation together, right? So I'm going to go back to some real examples on that later within my presentation. Of course, one of the top demands has always been operational efficiencies. All of these benefits in the end needs to mean something, needs to reduce time, needs to improve automation at your properties, right? Well, all this technology is focused on this, and that's one of the most important areas as well today to keep driving improvements for our industry. One of the last points there that I have is faster deployments and onboarding. And that's another important tip that you can take out from this presentation and analyze the technology that you are using today. So think of, for example, how long does it take to implement a new configuration? How long does it take to change your segmentation? How long does it take to deploy a new operation, right? So basically, a platform like Opera Cloud is focused on reducing those times, basically going from several weeks of deployment to literally being able to deploy and get you up and running within a few days. How? For example, introducing automation, introducing e-learning. So all of that is basically reducing the amount of time we need to spend and also giving you the tools that you need to rapidly deployed and change, because that's absolutely needed these days to stay up with the changes that we are facing literally every day. So of course, I heard a lot of the folks there in the audience are using sales and catering, or maybe they are using Opera version 5. So another key area for us with the Opera Cloud platform was to create the process to allow you to migrate extremely fast to the new platform, right? So literally within hours or a very small number of days. So that's something that also you need to keep in mind with any cloud technology. And finally, the right combination of technology and experience, right? These days, you're going to see there's a lot of trends out there, many of them affecting our industry right now, blockchain, Internet of Things, that, for example, will allow you to control how many people are sitting on a venue, how many people are getting together at the entrance of a venue. Is that important these days? Of course it is important, because that's the technology that is allowing to keep our guests, our travelers safe, and that is what empower them and encourage them to come back faster to our operations. Artificial intelligence that will, for example, bring that automation is not a system that will help you only track sales. It is a technology that will help you sell more and better, right? And all that technology is part of the Opera Cloud portfolio. That's the history of the combination of the Oracle technology stack and the expertise from what it was Micros back in the days and now Oracle Hospitality. And also, I encourage you to keep that within your radar, that it's absolutely important to have partners which understand those type of transformational technologies that are so important for especially the next few years, right? Now, once we have that platform in place, also from our side, what we started was to create and add all the specialized apps that we need on top of that platform, right? Something I didn't mention at the beginning of my presentation, and I want to be very clear, all what you are seeing here on my presentation today, Opera Cloud, OSEM, integrations platform, is available today. I'm not presenting you any solution that's going to be here in a few years' time. It's all available today. So of course, when we have that platform up and running, the next pillar, the next priority on our list was, what is the next generation sales and catering? What is the next generation sales and event management tool that we wanted to bring into the market? And we started basically observing and confirming and understanding once and again that we understand this industry very well, that we have a lot of experience on understanding your operations. And we have diverse teams we need to serve. We have sales teams, we have operations teams, you are using accounts, you are using contacts. The operations team is handling blocks, is dealing with hotel room reservations, dealing with events, dealing with resources. At the same time, our industry is demanding more complex technology, is demanding more information at the glance, things like dashboards, and of course, very advanced reporting and analytics. So with OSEM, we tried to completely reinvent the way on how you work today with our solutions, and of course benefit from all of those principles that I mentioned before that are guiding our Opera Cloud platform strategy, and bring all that together to deliver a better solution, a safer solution, and putting all those components in place. So of course, there's a few that I want to highlight that I think are differential compared to sales and catering. And one of them is mobility. I mentioned it before. Mobility is a principle of the Opera Cloud platform. And it is, of course, a principle then of all the applications that we are building on top of that platform. And that is the case for sales and events, OSEM. Mobility is part of the entire package. On top of that, we also added analytics and reporting and analytics suite that comes all and 100% also included within the OSEM platform. So that's a second pillar that makes OSEM completely better than what you have today as sales and catering. The third pillar is the user experience. So basically, OSEM, it's a platform that has been completely, the UI and user experience has been completely redesigned using the latest and greatest Oracle technology. And that basically means that we can improve the user experience of your operators there at your properties. The third one I want to highlight, on top of course, things like having a unique database and having all the experience from accounts and content management, group bookings, and opportunity management, is of course the partner platform, which we're going to look in a second in more details, because that's something radically different to what we can offer today with sales and catering. And like I said before, we think it's going to radically change the way on how we relate and with our partners, and the amount of innovation that we can deliver to you as a customer of OSEM and the Opera Cloud platform. So what is exactly, and to finish with my part of this introduction, what is exactly that third pillar, the integrations platform? So basically, we are bringing, as part of OSEM, as part of the Opera Cloud platform, a new integration platform built with 100% new REST APIs. This basically allows us to have, on top of the ecosystem that we have today of more than 4,000 vendors, bring a technology that is fully open and that is much more affordable for both vendors and customers to drive innovation together. And the best example of this is, of course, our collaboration with companies, innovative companies such as MeetingPackage, which are automating online meetings. But basically, the technology that we are delivering here with OHIP, with this new integration platform, completely broadens the possibility here. I mean, even when we see later what we can do today, is nothing compared to the automation and the innovation that we can drive with a solution like OHIP. And before I finish, just one important fact that I think most customers love to hear. All this innovation that is part of the OHIP platform is fully included in our Opera Cloud platform. So basically, it doesn't cost the hotel or the venue any additional investment. All this innovation is available in our cloud marketplace, is ready for consumption. So when you look at our technology, don't think of disconnected pieces of technology. We have a true platform that goes far beyond what I have presented here today, and that can basically help you automate and improve your operations today. So no time, most importantly, right now to stand still. And a quick summary on what I have presented today. So Opera Cloud is our next generation platform. And on top of that, we are building and we have already released a next generation platform, such as sales and events management. Sales and catering is of course still there for some time, particularly focused towards our Opera version 5 customers. And then the future of integrations is powered by our OHIP Oracle Hospitality Integrations Marketplace. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabrizio. What we will do now is I'll jump to our presentation next, and after that we will go through the questions. There's quite many questions now, so I'll actually give some time for Fabrizio to read them through, and then we will go through with Mervi now the presentation of how the integration with Opera Sales and Catering works today and what can be expected in the future. So let me share the screen here and stop presenting. Perfect. So just a few slides before I go to the actual demo of the environment and how it works. So first of all, as we saw from your answers in the survey, majority of you are still receiving bookings through email, phone, or walk-ins, or whatever other solution than digital. And many of you were actually looking in going fully digital and allowing the customers to make bookings. And if we look at these, let's say, difficult times that we are facing and have been facing during this year, there's the other side of the coin, which has forced a lot of chains and hotels to go digital. And if we look at it from this angle, it will give a lot of possibilities to go digital due to the fact that there's less resources available. There's not the ITP trade fairs and so forth that you have attended earlier. So there's less sales possibilities. And all of this needs to be somehow tackled. And the way to do this is through a completely digital way, i.e. allowing your customers to actually see what you offer, what is the price, what is the availability. So going from an offline world to a fully digital and online world. And what are the solutions that we provide is the booking engine that can be implemented on the venues and hotels own site, as well as our channel manager for meetings and events that allows them distribution control over various partners such as CWT. And how we fit into the ecosystem, if we look at this, MeetingPackage is called an integration layer nowadays. So we connect to the sales and catering, the PMS, and so forth, as we are showing today. And from there, we build the business rules in our venue and sales management platform that allows you then to sell and take control over where you sell, what price you sell, and offer it on your own channels as well as distribution. Because we need to remember that the information that is coming from a sales and catering or a different solution, that's only data that is coming from there. That's not being built for customer-centric approach, meaning that it's visible for the end consumer to buy. So you need to have a layer in between that transforms that data into a marketing approach for the customers to actually transact, i.e. images, content, business rules, where you sell, when do you sell inquiries, when do you sell definites, and so forth. And now going to the actual solution. So here what you have is I'm logged in as a venue owner in MeetingPackage at the moment. So I will first describe how the configuration works between Opera and MeetingPackage. So now I have already applied the property ID from Opera corresponding to my test property here. And what you see is I'm now editing the rooms, the function spaces of that hotel. What this means is on the right-hand side, we have the room code. So this room code is actually the Opera room code. And once we connect this will connect the data from that room to our end of the room. So i.e. matching Opera and MeetingPackage room together, which allows us then to pull availability, pull the rates from Opera directly. On top of that, we have certain business rules. For example, if you want to offer flexible pricing, we have a rule that if the price is stored in MeetingPackage, it will override the price from Opera. If the price is set as 0 in MeetingPackage, we will pull the rate from Opera, which again gives you a lot of flexibility on where you want to manage your pricing, how do you want to measure it, and so forth. And within the Opera Sales and Catering, there's only one rate today available, but of course in the new environment, then we have the possibility to have a more flexible rate structure than today existing. And therefore, this kind of a way around is there that you can actually apply better rate conditions on top of the Opera rate today. On top of that, you see here, for example, Ballroom A has already the pricing within MP. So you can apply hourly rates, half-day rates, full-day rates. And on top of that, you can even have seasonal rates based on weekdays. And is it a discount rate or a set price? All of these can be applied already pre-hand. And then you have all of the content, for example, pictures, images, and so forth, which is not coming from Opera in this case, that you can have the images of the room, 360s, etc. Anything regarding how you want to sell and market your property, descriptions, equipment, and so forth, which is again more marketing approach than just pulling data, which is more for internal staff to know. The same thing applies for packages. So these packages are again mapped according to the packages and daily delegate rates from Opera. So you have the package code here, and the same rule applies. So if there's a price here, it overrides the price from Opera. If there's no price, we pull the pricing from Opera in this case. And again, the same thing applies, that you can have a better description, better name that will be displayed to the customer, because most probably, again, the name that you use in Opera is a name that you want to use internally rather than externally. So we can map and mask that data on top of it. How is this all then visible? I'll get to that soon. There's one more thing that I want to highlight is all the kind of business rules and triggers that we can allocate and give the possibility. For example, when do you want to sell your room instantly online? Because now we have the possibility of pushing bookings and inquiries to Opera. So it can be either an inquiry or a definite booking. So these rules apply on top of that. So if you want to, for example, sell only instantly for 25 people, now if a customer will book for 26 people, it will automatically change it to an inquiry or a request-based booking rather than a definite booking. And this can be done on a property level, chain level, or even an individual room level. On top of this, there's certain other rules for example, safe meetings that apply during this period of time, that you can allocate what is the percentage of a room that you want to have the safe meetings applying. So how much percentage of your normal room capacity can be sold today. So you don't need to change the master data in that sense. Then going to the customer facing. So I'm now looking at a booking engine, which is non-branded. So you can see your logo would be here and you can change the colors, etc. So this is our Opera test 2 property. As you can see, here you have the images of the venue. You can have the start and date and time. You can see the DDRs, meeting rooms, and you can have discount corporate codes, etc. And if I go down, you can see the 3 options here. So we have this available immediately, which is book now. Then we have a send request, which is inquiry or booking request. And then we have a pure inquiry property. All of these in one customer-facing platform. So it doesn't matter what the customer is searching for, we will decrease the bounds and increase the conversion because there's always something for the customer to transact on. So I hear a lot from hotels that, hey, we only want to then put our small meeting rooms there. That's something that you should not do. You should always show your full portfolio, but then put the business rules on top on where you sell, what you sell, when you sell inquiries, when to sell instant booking, and so forth. And here you have all the information of the properties, seating orders, equipments, and so forth, if they would be there. For example, if I look at this ballroom A, unfortunately, our test property doesn't have too much information. But if I would go to, for example, client, which in this case, you can see a custom solution from Nordic Choice Hotels. You can see here, there's more details like areas, dimensions, equipment, descriptions, 360s, and so forth. Now I'm going to demonstrate the booking, and then Mervi will take the screen and show how that all lands in Opera. So I'm going to make a definite booking now for December 16th, 9 o'clock, 10 people, 6 hours. And since I'm already logged in, it will automatically fetch my data. And then you can see automatically everything is still branded for that specific. So again, if I look at Nordic Choice, you can see that everything is choicified here. And if I go back, it's just blank because this certain booking engine is non-branded. So we haven't done anything on this side. It's purely black and white, so to say. Here I have now, I'm booking for Wednesday, the 16th December. I can still pull food and beverage items. And these are also coming directly from Opera Sales and Catering. So these items come directly from the Opera SNC. So if I take conference lunch now, and let's say I want to have it at 12 o'clock, you can also limit the service time between when you want to offer, what is the duration, and so forth. But now I'm taking a really expensive 120 euro conference lunch. Thanks, Mervi, for configuring a highly expensive lunch for 10 people, 12 o'clock. I can also add services like flip charts and so forth, and these are also coming from Opera SNC in this case. I can leave special information like I would like to have 10 people. Now Mervi would be able then to add the dinner, which will then be going back to our system. So it talks two-way from end to end, from transaction till the event date. So whatever is modified, it comes back to the customer. But we will show that so you get the full understanding. So now I'm going to make it a booking. And here you can apply also payment gateways, and we can take the money on the transaction. Of course, this is a test property, so we're not applying any payment gateways here to make the demo effect more smoother. I have the terms of use and cancellation policy, which are always the venue's own cancellation policy, and you can define different terms per different booking types. For example, inquiries and definite bookings can be having a different terms of use and cancellation policy. Now I'm going to make the booking, and then I'm going to let Mervi take the Opera side and show how it works. Feel free, Mervi, and let me know if screen share is not working.
Let me see. I had some issues earlier, but let me see. Let me know once you see my Opera.
We see your beautiful Opera.
You can see it, perfect. Then that little glitch was fixed. All right, so now the booking has arrived here. I can see that Jonas had booked the 16th of December here. This is now the latest booking number. So we are using OWS to connect MeetingPackage with Opera on the Opera version 5. And OWS has now created this booking. We can see here from the bottom, this came from the website. We are delivering here the company name, the details that the booker was giving on the website. We create the company profile for the first time, and then we create the booking contact with all of the details, with the phone numbers and email addresses, which the booker is giving on the website. Next part of the booking is then the name and status codes, market codes, source codes. Those are all driven by the Opera parameters, what the property has defined. What is the status for the confirmed booking, default market code, default source code. Next part of the booking is just the attendees info board that is populated. Jonas was booking now food and beverage plus the rental, and we were pulling the rates from Opera. So in this stage, you will already see that the catering part is filled in with the correct values, what's in the forecast. Any extra information that we can't currently put into the events or resources is always delivered then in notes. They are here in business block notes, always under web booking notes. So here's now the special request. Jonas would like to have the dinner for 10 persons, has selected pay by invoice, plus then repeating the details of the events here. On the same part, we have then also the booking number in the MeetingPackage, plus the link that the property can open the booking from the order management base by using this link. Now, once we look at the events level, then we booked meeting room and we booked lunch. So we have here now meeting and we have lunch. The times are always taken from the meeting. We can't update the time on the FMB items with the current OWS version. Resources are booked there as well. We have now the conference lunch. This was picked up directly from Opera to the website and delivered to the booking. Meeting was meeting room number 2. Now, Jonas was wanting to have the dinner. So let me add that one here. We add a new event. We add a dinner for 10 persons. We put it in our restaurant. And by selecting the resources, the FMB menu on this one, we will build this menu with the price to the website. This way, the customer can see the total value of this booking, including the added dinner, maybe they negotiated price, added some other items as well. And this is now on the way to the website. Same way, once then we are booking meeting packages, DDRs, that structure is then picked up from the Opera package. So it will create the morning coffee, lunch, afternoon coffee according to your package setup in Opera. So that is in the nutshell what the booking looks like. Before I give this back to Jonas to show you how does it look back on the website, I will just quickly show you on the what is the difference once the license for the sales and catering is activated. So you will get, for example, on the function spaces, you need to then define, is this specific meeting room bookable via web? The same you will then do on the item level, so that we can look at the items with your item inventory. And then you would have to define also the meeting menus, coffee breaks, lunches, which you want to sell on the web. So it's not very big work to be done per site. Short and sweet. Any questions? Please post on the chat so we can take it over from there. Jonas, do you want to pick up?
Yes, thank you. Perfect. So now what I will do is I'm going to look at the booking that was made. Let me see where my screen is. Here we are. So now I'm looking at it. There was a question, is this for the customer or the hotel? So there's two views for this. We need to remember that customers in meetings and events, it's not a one-stop shop. So you need to have the possibility of modifying, sending emails, modifying the request, inquiries to change to definite, etc. So that's what we call an order management that you see now in front of you. Now I'm logged in to the order management as the customer. And now if I go to my dashboard here in MeetingPackage as a hotel, I can open the same transaction and I can view it as a supplier. And then let me go back. There's apparently logged in with two different users. So here you have the user access at the moment. So if I look at this, you see that Mervi added the dinner. And the dinner is automatically coming to the quotation to the customer. So this is the view that I have for a customer on the branded side. And as you can see, again, nothing is branded in this version. And here's the message that I stated for Mervi, which was visible in the Opera Notes section. And if I go back here, I can see automatically that there's the dinner already applied in the room 2, food and beverage, 115 euros per person, and totaling of 3,000 euros. So this information is automatically coming to the customer in an updated way from Opera. So the hotel did not need to go to Opera in this case. And then if I show you the hotel view now, just a moment. I'm logging in with my credentials. So you can see that the hotel view is different than the customer view on that side. So now I'm opening the hotel view here. So now I'm logged in as a hotel. Now I'm logged in as a customer. You can see the branding changes now in MeetingPackage, and there's a lot more features here for the supplier. In the supplier, you have internal notes that you can use, client info, you see, you can modify these things also and add even line items. Now the dinner which was added, it's added as a new line item here, which could be modified also in the Opera's meetings package side. But again, from a hotel's perspective, the better is that Opera will work as the master data for you guys, and MeetingPackage works as the one which pulls the data to the client. And once something is changed in Opera, it will automatically then send an email to the customer that, hey, this order has been changed. And in the settings and the statistics, you can see the real-time view then of your property, how it's performing, which transactions are coming through your own web channels, which ones are coming through distribution perspective, etc. So here, for example, I can deep dive directly on what properties I'm looking at. So if I would be only look at MP Opera test, I would see that one. I can see the sources where the bookings transact on. And since everything is digital, we can track all the points from how many bookings from inquiry go to definite, what is the status of pending requests, how much is revenue earned and lost during a period of time, And all of these would be lost if you would be using emails and then only putting it to Opera, or not in all cases even putting it to Opera, because you're already dealing with emails and you're only putting definite bookings to Opera because it might be too time consuming. So that's kind of where we sit into, that you get much more data points. You can push all inquiries and requests and instant bookings to Opera, allow you to actually measure your marketing economics. So if you do ads and so forth, you can measure the whole booking flow from ad click until the event, because we can get all of that data during that period of time, and that can help your marketing to actually make efficient marketing. And then you have the PMS IDs here also directly. So we have MeetingPackage ID and PMS ID. As you can see, there's also test through different distribution partners such as CVT. If you look at CVT side, you could get better visibility here also. Beautiful. So that's the short how MeetingPackage works. And as you can see, everything works two-way. So there's the inquiries and definite bookings possibilities. You can change in Opera. It goes back to the customer-facing platform for the customer, and all in real time on that side. Cool. I'll stop sharing now the screen, and then we can get to the questions. There's quite many questions, and Fabrizio, there's for you quite many also already from the earlier presentation. So I think we can start tackling those one by one, and feel free to put questions also. I'm going to put the question status here. But before that, we're going to start with a few questions that came in the beginning part. And maybe, Fabrizio, you have already something from the beginning part that you want to tackle. For example, when will SNC Cloud be available to the field?
So that's a good question, same as many others out there. To be honest, we have been offering SNC, so sales and catering, in the cloud or hosted for, I don't know, 15 years at least. Okay, so but that's say SNC, sales and catering, right? If the question here is when OSEM, the platform that we presented here today, that is part of the Opera Cloud platform, it's going to be available. It's already available for about a year now on what we call the standard offering, and we just released the premium offering. So we relatively match towards what we have today as SNC standard and premium, I mean, with some differences. But all these products are fully available right now.
Perfect. What about the next one? What about billing applications? Are they also available in the cloud?
So that's another great question there. And again, I think we need to differentiate what we just saw here. For example, this demo with MeetingPackage, this amazing interface was created with our current technology, not with our next generation technology. So all those apps are being built right now. I can tell you here publicly, MeetingPackage is already building one application with us, and it will be on the marketplace, on the market as soon as possible. But the marketplace, the APIs are already there on an initial state, but it's already there. So we hope together, working with such innovative partners, to start having the first applications between now and the end of the year. And I think next year, next calendar year, is going to be very successful in adding lots of more applications there.
Perfect. And then I'll take one of the latest questions which came here. I'll put it to the screen now. So we use Opera version 5 and no SNC. How we could update in order to use Opera Cloud and MeetingPackage? I think that's a little bit of a Fabrizio and Mervi question here.
Yes, it's a great question too. I think I mentioned this very quickly when I talk about the fast migration to the cloud. So from our side, we can take you, I mean, using version 5 and put you in the cloud. We can take you as a customer and convert you to Opera Cloud, and literally all of that can happen within a very short amount of time. The reality is that MeetingPackage works in all of those. And that's the beauty of our integrations as well, is that they are very flexible. So MeetingPackage is a certified partner with us and basically can work today on premises and in the cloud. But as I was saying before, MeetingPackage is also in the process of already developing against the next generation marketplace, the next generation APIs. And that's going to be great for customers, for vendors, and for all. And MeetingPackage is already in the process of that.
Perfect. Then I'll take the next question. How will the customer find MeetingPackage is connected to any other website? So as described earlier, we have two main products. One which is integrated to your own website, i.e. a booking engine, that will streamline your digital customer base that goes to your own channels, let's say your brand.com, and tries to find meeting rooms. So we provide the booking engine there that allows to replace your web forms or inquiry forms that you have, and allowing them to transact online and to manage everything online in a branded environment to your hotel or venue. On top of that, there's the distribution network, which is connected to over 300 channels, including CWT, Venue Directory in the UK, Event Inc. in Germany. There's two variations. There's white label partners, which use our full inventory and full capacity. And then there's API partners like Venue Directory and Event Inc., which can fetch the data of the properties that allow it. So you as a property have the possibility to describe, to agree on which channels you're going to be visible on, and with one interface. So once you connect with Opera, we can then connect to various distribution partners, including your own channel, without double work. Then I think there was a few questions here before the Q&A. What about overbookings? Is there any blockage? Take this away. So there's two ways. So overbookings cannot be done, even though we lose connectivity to Opera. So if there wouldn't be let's say the connectivity will be lost to Opera, we have double calendar availability that we check. So once a customer now makes a booking in the brand.com or distribution, it will create a block within MeetingPackage also. If this block somehow is not being able to deliver to Opera, this will automatically generate then an email to the hotel and saying, hey, we could not generate a block to Opera. Please create this as a definite booking to your environment and then map it accordingly. At that point, no other customer can make a booking because we're already blocking that in MB side, just in case of that. Then we have, is MeetingPackage also compatible with our PMS system besides Opera? So we have multiple sales and catering and PMS vendors integrated, including Xenium and Muse, for example. And there's multiple ones in the pipeline, but of course, Opera is the ones where we have the most biggest customer base together, and also the solution live and kicking, and also looking at to the future, as Fabricio said, the next generation, and how we can tackle the problems that many PMSs are facing today in limitations of their APIs regarding meetings and events. And that's kind of where we have a good future ahead of with MeetingPackage and Opera or Oracle. The dinner rate will be since, because how then hotel know the final menus choose? I think this is a question. Dinner rate will be since or starting from most probably because how the hotel knows the final menus choose. So this is again, so if you look at the sales process and you have sold the customer, so if it's still a sales process or a quotation process, just a moment ago, Mervi had a definite booking. So if it would be a sales process, you can put your menus there. And once the customer has selected which menu they want, for example, in the chat or PDF or whatever solution you have in place, and once it's a definite one that, okay, I want to have this menu, then you can put it to Opera, and then it updates the final quotation and offer to the customer on that case. So you can also go through the whole communication side within the platform together. And then there was a question. So configuration only needs to be done in Opera. It's a configuration primarily done in Opera, but the biggest one, then you need to do the mapping of the data. So which rooms are corresponding to which ones. Maybe you can give a quick half-a-minute presentation of, or an answer to what the configuration looks like. How long will it take, and what needs to be done?
Well, what you need to do in Opera side is then mapping the function rooms which you want to sell. You need to map the items, technical items, flip charts, which you want to sell, and menus which you want to sell. Build up the catering packages you want to sell on the web. Plus, then you have some catering codes which you need to flag as a base, that which event types will be web bookable, which setup style will be web bookable, and so forth. So depending on the size of the property, so the config maybe takes, I think we did one property because the Opera part took like an hour and a half. It's more time maybe on the MeetingPackage side when you upload the pictures and look at that the content looks nice and sellable for the booker.
And that's the thing that typically hotels always are faced with, because there's not one content management software where you have your images stored in a proper way that they can identify which room it is and so forth. So let's say the preloading, which is typically a one-time thing, because of course, if you have windows now in your meeting room, most probably you have the windows there in 1 year's time. So it's one mandatory thing that we need to have, because you have not been used to selling online. So we really need to tweak the content so that it looks in a way that it's sellable and attractive to the customer. There's a question, does it support localization around language, taxes, currencies, time zones? So yeah, we have 13 different languages. Primarily the languages are for customer-centric approach. So we don't translate the interface always to suppliers for all the languages we offer to the customers. So it is localization is there, currencies are there, time zones are there. All of those can be tackled within the booking engine solution, and of course from the distribution angle also. So it depends the use case a little bit. But if you're a hotel chain with, let's say, geographical area, so that it covers 6 different currencies, 6 different languages, all of those can be tackled. We can also do the currency conversion on the spot on the customer-facing slide, and then push it in the local currency back to the operational system. So that can be handled, yes. Then there was a question, can you show again where and how configuration we need to update when we want to sell? I'm not 100% sure if this question is regarding MeetingPackage or Opera. Maybe you can put it there, but in Opera, okay. We have hotels with different catering currency, and this be handled as well regarding Opera. So maybe I think we're gonna go over time because we have 1 minute left. Not sure if this just stops because it's a new software for us, but let's hope that it's not stopping. But maybe we should do it so that anyone who's interested in getting seeing the configuration, there's the book button in the top. You can book there and book a meeting with us, and we can demonstrate properly with how it works and how the configuration works. We can also send you the configuration documentation so you can see what needs to be done in Opera side and MP side to save time. So please, there's the book button on the top, so feel free to book a meeting with us. Are you sharing any of the presentation? Yes, so the whole presentation is on demand, so you will receive a copy of this. Unfortunately, I lost 5 or 7 minutes in the beginning by not clicking record. Again, amateur mistake, but that's what it is. So you will get the recording after this, and it's now been recording for the 7 minutes, so more or less everything we went through. Any information uploaded by the meeting planner is automatically updated in the PEO. So if a meeting planner is updating something in the information, so currently, Mervi, can you remember, does the SNC current integration allow to modify the notes section in when someone is modifying something in MeetingPackage, that does it go to the Opera sec also?
In inquiry bookings, we can send notes into Opera. For confirmed bookings, we only communicate via email to the hotel. So
the answer to Enric's question is that with inquiry side, we can push all of those informations to Opera, and then based on Opera, you can take the banquet event order, and then if it's a definite booking, the current solution with the sales and catering doesn't allow us to change then a definite booking, but hopefully in the next one in the OSEM, we have that possibility also. If there's any other questions, feel free to, I'll put it here also to the public. So feel free to put any questions to me directly, and I will forward it within MeetingPackage to the corresponding. So if it's an Oracle question, I'll forward it to Mervi, and if it's something regarding let's say Oracle directly, maybe Fabricio, you can put your email there also for anyone who.
Yep, I think I put it there already.
Okay. Very good. There it is. Is there still some other questions that we want to answer? There was a question that do we compare ourselves with Passkey or compare this solution? No, we don't. Passkey is more for group bookings. Our main point is to, let's say, increase the conversion fully with a digital way of making a transaction from end to end from your brand side or distribution side. We're not here to generate more RFPs. We're here to generate more transaction, more revenue with less costs and human resources needed. So that's where we sit in the bucket. So not comparing ourselves with Siemens or anyone like Inquiry Force or RFP platforms. And that's why many RFP platforms like Menu Directory and so forth are utilizing our APIs, because that's way they can increase their conversion from customer perspective also, and make hotels much more happy because they're using the same connectivity and increasing conversion to definite bookings. There's so many questions, I'm getting lost here already. There's the emails, as we stated earlier. Fabricio said my email there. I'm happy to forward any questions internally. And is there already an integration between OSEM for Opera Cloud and MeetingPackage, as the presentation is all about Opera version 5? So we are, and maybe Fabricio, you can answer this one more better on what's the timeline. We are happy to allocate as much resources to get it up and rolling as soon as possible, but I believe there's still something on your side that needs to be tackled on this.
So basically, this is fully released and available, 100%. I mean, so really, if this is a question coming from a customer perspective, they basically need to reach out through the usual channels. But Opera Cloud has been released for years now. OSEM has been released for over a year already. So plenty of installations around the world already. We use for this presentation V5 because we also understand is the majority of you are still using version 5, but the reality is that there's nothing stopping this from our side. Actually, we would love to for all anyone on the audience to start using those applications, and same on the integration side.
I think, Mervi, do you have a better view on the OSEM and MeetingPackage side now, or is this something that we don't want to drop a figure yet?
No, it's in the process, so hopefully we will be done by the end of this year, once we get started.
Then there's a question, if we use multi-property, can we do the settings in different properties with one license? I think the license is regarding now Opera more. I'm not sure if Fabricio, you want to answer this, but or if you have a view on this.
No, we will need to understand the details behind this question. I mean, by default, multi-property means multiple hotels, and multiple hotels means dedicated licenses for each hotel. The part that I cannot reinforce more is the fact that everything that relates to, for example, a connection of multi-property between hotels in Opera Cloud and MeetingPackage using OSEM and the new integration platform has no cost whatsoever for the hotel. And I think that's really, license and all that is gone. So I think it's very good news for the properties.
I'll take two more questions, and then we're going to wrap this up. The next one is, what about customer customization for Opera OSEM? Is the product ready for brand customization and interfaces?
That's a really good question. And actually, when I talk there about local products, regional products, and also about guest experience, we don't have time here to cover all the great stuff, right? But this is one of the pillars that I couldn't fit there, which we call it personalization/customization. What that means is that the entire Opera Cloud platform, and that includes OSEM as well, is fully customizable, not only from your user perspective at the hotel, but also on the data that we expose, thinking more on the customer. Mervi showed there some links, some stuff that we can also do with a connection like MeetingPackage. Compared to Opera version 5, what you can do in Opera Cloud and OSEM, it has no comparison whatsoever. I mean, you can customize everything, basically. So big difference there.
Then I'm taking this as the last question. And again, feel free to contact Fabricio, myself, or Mervi if you have any questions after this presentation. You will get the recording after this. Unfortunately, it's not the full one because of my mistake. But anyway, you will get the last remaining Q&As, and the integration will be in the recording. Also, there's the book button, so feel free to book a meeting with us directly from there. So the last question is, can the client request more rooms at the same time without inserting data as such, phone numbers and email address repeatedly? So yes, we have a multi-day possibility in the user interface if enabled, which allows you to select either multi-day or multi-meeting rooms into the same booking flow, which allows you to then, for example, if a customer wants to make 7 days booking directly within the platform, that's possible. Or if they want to book 3 meeting rooms within the same go, that's also possible. So you make 1 slot, 2 slot, 3 slot, and you can have different number of people there as well as the different time and so forth. And then it creates those as a block to Opera. Great. There's still some questions we haven't answered, but unfortunately time is already over time. We started a little bit late, so apologies for that. I thank everyone already on the call. There's great communication, great questions during the whole webinar. And Fabricio, thank you very much for attending and having you from the Oracle side here and representing Oracle. If any questions, I don't know if you have, Fabricio, Mervi, any last words you want to say?
No, just thank you for everyone who attended. It was a pleasure showing you and get in touch if you need more information.
Thank you. Great audience.
Perfect. Thanks, everyone. I'll close the meeting now, or the webinar now. I wish you the best and have a great week, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thanks you. Bye now.